I think the outlook for the rail sector in India has never been brighter or better. So we see tremendous investments in infrastructure inside the railways. There's a massive push towards upgrading the infrastructure, buying new rolling stock, investing in safety, passenger safety and comfort, and also enhancing speed. There are a number of initiatives that we have witnessed in the recent past from the Ministry of Railways. Not only there's a huge capital expenditure that's planned, but there is also a best ever collaboration that I can remember in my 2 decades of experience in this sector, having worked for several multinational companies. The collaboration between Indian Railways and the private sector in this rail transport industry has never been better. People are willing to invest, people are willing to trust the national rail plan that was created as a vision document by Indian Railways. And overall, I would just say that the climate is right for trains, and there's no more sustainable model of transport than rail. Certainly. So, Wabtec has been growing at a very fast clip. We are mainly present as Favourite Transport in the transit passenger side of the business. So just to give a quick background before I move into orders and projects that we are doing. So Wabtec is an American company headquartered in the US. It bought over the Favourite Transport passenger side of the business in November of 2016. And then it bought the GE, General Electric's transportation business, in February 2019. That makes Wabtec a very large global conglomerate of almost $9 billion. So in India today, we are doing about 3.5 to 4,000 crores of revenues. Between 2016 and 2019, we witnessed almost 2.5 times growth in our order intake and revenues. That was a transformational period before COVID set in. So 2020, of course, was a slow year for us on account of several challenges that were thrown up on account of passengers not traveling, etc. So while we grew at a CAGR of almost 40% in India between 2016 and 2019, we slowed down in 2020. And I'm really happy to say that we are back on track again from 2021. So obviously, we are not in that 35-40% CAGR, but we are still in a very respectable 15 to 20% growth in our order intake and revenues in the different segments that we operate. So essentially, we operate in 3 business segments. The first one is the product business of Indian Railways. The second one is with the projects, metro projects segment, where we work with different Indian as well as multinational rolling stock car builders. And the third business is the services business that comes out of both these parts. So these are essentially our 3 pillars of the different businesses that we work in. And we have product lines like brakes, then we have couplers, pantographs, air conditioning systems, passenger access doors, and what have you. Almost more than 1/3 of the train is actually covered by components that are built at Favourite Transport. And we also build them with a very high degree of local content. We have significantly invested in our capacities and engineering competencies in India. We have 6 manufacturing plants, and we have a very strong, knowledgeable, skilled engineering center of 2,700 odd people housed in Bangalore. So this is how we are positioned to grow in the country. Some of the major orders that we are executing are for the electric locomotives, brake system, and high reach pantographs. Is a technology that has just replaced the conventional pantographs. These are the 2 big product lines amongst the major orders. And we also have for the LHV coaches, our axle mounted disc brake systems, then our air conditioning systems also for that application, and passenger access doors and couplers. Now we are investing big time into the Vande Bharat train sets, which you hear. Okay, so all these product lines for the semi-high speed application of 160 km to 200 km per hour, which is brakes, couplers, doors, pantographs, passenger information systems. Okay, an upgradation of technology, which is more skewed towards higher efficiency, lighter weight, and we're moving more towards computer controlled brake system than the pneumatic brake system. So some of these technologies are playing out in creating differentiation in the marketplace and helping us to be relevant in the market for this segment of Vande Bharat trains. We are also present in the EMUs, MEMUs side of the business in Indian Railways, so it's not a very high focus area for us. This is a low priced segment where Wabtec is not at its best. In addition, we are present in a big way in the metro segment with our car builders. So the major orders that we have with Alstom, for example, and the erstwhile Bombardier are the metro projects of Mumbai. And we are also having a fleet of 860 cars in Delhi, which are all with our brake system, air conditioning, doors, and pantographs in Delhi Metro, which was the erstwhile Bombardier, now part of Alstom. In addition to this, we have done projects like Kochi Metro and Lucknow Metro, to name a few in the very recent past. We are working with BML for the Kolkata Metro project for couplers and air conditioning systems. And we are the first movers for the first RRTS, Regional Rapid Transit Systems in Delhi Meerut, which is the first RRTS project in India. We have supplied our brakes and pantographs to Alstom. And all these products are with over 60-70% local content, which helps our customers to build a highly localized train or rolling stock for the different applications. Yes, certainly. We are already doing exports from India. Some of the prestigious projects that we have done are couplers for the Hong Kong Metro. This was through a Korean car builder, Hyundai Rotem. So that was a project that we did on couplers, which we've more or less completed now. There are other projects like Sydney Metro and Montreal Metro. Sydney in Australia for Alstom, Montreal Metro again for Alstom, which we are executing brake system components, very sophisticated, state-of-the-art, latest technology for these projects, which are global projects for Alstom from India. In addition to these projects, we are also exporting components, the components for the main equipment like brakes and couplers for global projects in Europe primarily. We are also looking at opportunities how we can do more in the Asian geographies where our customers are winning orders. And last but not the least, we are also trying to see if we can engage with some of the global metro rail corporations in terms of promoting India as a best cost, not only a best cost sourcing, but a best cost engineering country, to look at helping them with some of our innovations to enable them to operate and maintain with a higher efficiency and at a lower cost. Very important. So Wabtec today is about a $9 billion enterprise, and in India, as I just told you a little while back, we are about 3,500 to 4,000 crores and growing at about a 15% CAGR. Now we have this locomotive business, which is a diesel locomotive business, which is a public-private partnership project. It's 74% held by Wabtec and 26% by Indian Railways. So this is rolling out 100 locomotives every year of 6,000 horsepower and 4,500 horsepower combined. We've already supplied 460 odd locomotives. So this is a project where we have now, from import from the US to localizing in India, almost 82% of content in the diesel locomotive is local. So this is one side of the business where we've been able to develop components which can be now exported for different product for projects of Wabtec on the locomotive side. In addition to this, what is relevant for global Wabtec is to increase the sourcing from India. Okay, so the global sourcing, still India is a small pie, and you are aware of the China plus one sourcing strategy. A lot of procurement is actually moving from China to India, which is benefiting us as a group as well to export and make India more relevant for the corporation. So today, while we are at about 5% of the global revenues of Wabtec, in the next 5 years, we could be somewhere around 10%. As a corporate identity in India and as a leadership team, we aspire to be a $1 billion enterprise in India in the next 3 to 5 years. So you can imagine that's almost twice the size of what we are today. But this would include a lot of not only an order intake and a revenue for the Indian business, but also global sourcing and global engineering from our engineering center, which will derive this $1 billion for India as a business enterprise. Yeah, so we are working on a large number of innovations globally. And as you know that while Wabtec's target is to always bring in the latest technologies at the lowest price points, India is a very price sensitive market, which we all know. And the specifications, while you can influence to an extent, it costs money. And the model of procurement today does not allow innovations to come in at a very rapid space. So I'll first speak about some of the global innovations that we've done and doing and trying to get some of them into India. For the brake system, we have already moved over from a pneumatic electromechanical type of a brake system to computer controlled brake systems. That's more or less gaining acceptance. We've already developed a prototype, put one on the electric locomotive and done a successful field trial. So hopefully we will move over to the computer controlled brake system permanently in a couple of years' time. On the pantograph side, we moved over from the conventional pantographs to high reach. And now there are two pantographs in a locomotive. So Indian Railways has made a principal policy decision to have one pantograph high reach. But as we prove this technology, both the pantographs would become high reach, and this would significantly lead to a technological advancement as far as the overhead pantographs are concerned. For the air conditioning systems, we are working on alternate refrigerants. We are also working on improving the energy efficiency. So we should understand that this product is actually a life cycle based product, but the procurement in railways or in the metro is not looked upon that way, and it's looked upon as a pricey product today, what we have to offer. So what we are trying to offer is to use some different technologies, alternate technologies, so that the efficiency is higher, the energy bills which the customer has to pay would eventually be lower over the life cycle of the equipment. And by using new refrigerants and by using technologies like green filter, it will reduce emissions. So it's in line with the vision of our customers of Indian Railways to promote this innovation and bring them to India. In terms of passenger access doors, we've already moved over to automatic doors, both external sliding and plug doors. These are some of the latest technologies that are being used globally for different speed applications. So this is already now for the Vande Bharat train sets. We are going to offer a higher technology than what you see today on the doors front. On the couplers, you would have heard also us talk about digital automatic couplers for freight application that we are developing in a big way. It could be a big transition. So it's a large market that will evolve for this technology. And for the coaches, we are working more towards balancing the jerks with the energy absorption capacity. So we have designed jerk-free couplers, which we have which we are discussing with Indian Railways to adopt. So some of these technologies are quite innovative, which we are trying to bring in the existing fleet and for the large new projects that we will execute with our customers. In addition to this, we have adopted condition-based monitoring, okay, which means that you don't have to really replace components based on the life that we define, but based on the actual life that is actually able to serve. So this is again a new concept of condition-based monitoring, which will improve or lower the maintenance costs, improve efficiencies of maintenance. And if you see these big projects, they're all coming with maintenance in India. So as a result, the more efficient you're able to be in terms of lower maintenance costs or lower operational costs, the technologies would be more and more easily accepted and adopted. So Wabtec is doing its bit in each of the segments of rolling stock, and also we are doing a lot of it in online monitoring of the rolling stock through our digital electronics, and a lot of investments in people as well as technology is something that we are invested in for the longer term.